What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and as for Bitcoin, we are still teetering with that short zone that we've had for about a month now. That I talked about anytime in here is a good short position, in my opinion. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but so far this is holding up nicely. You've had many chances to do some shorts in here. Will we get back up above this? Possibly, but for that to happen, the markets would have to continue to rally. As you guys know, Bitcoin is a speculative asset, and it depends on what the market is doing. And I do believe shit is going to hit the fan in the traditional markets. And guys, a lot of people, you know, don't understand why markets crash, right? They don't just magically crash and numbers go down. People sell and get out of the market. Not just people, right? First, you have big institutions that are playing with other people's money. You have your big investors that are just going to start dumping because they see the writing on the wall. And then once they start selling out heavily, then you get a real rush down. And usually we're talking about the Fed rate cuts, right? So usually the Fed cuts rates after the market starts to go down, right? And then it gets a little tiny push up, gets everybody thinking the market's going to go back up for some reason, when in the past has never continued to go up when they cut rates, right? It just escalates the crash. More people start selling, and then the bottom of the market is where people come in to make a lot of money. I do believe this is going to be worse than the Great Recession. I believe this is going to be more like the Great Depression, and I'm going to show you in the charts here in a minute. But before we begin, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people think I'm a perma bear, but these markets have been manipulated to go up for a long time now for a reason, because the big money people are getting richer, but they're rich on paper now. They will take those profits. These markets will crash. Don't get caught in the middle of it. Speculative assets crash the most in a market crash, right? So let's take a look at it. So this was our short zone that we've been looking at, and you guys know I have targets way down to these levels. I think your first big bounce area is going to be around 57.6, right? Maybe not even. Let's see. Let's put this up here and get a more realistic by using our fibs here. So 62.7, that we're going to move that up there because that's where your 1.618 is. So I would look for a nice big bounce here. I do believe we'll get down to this area, right? You can see right here, there is a huge volume node there. As long as this holds as resistance at this 67.8 range, not saying we can't get, spikes back above, go test this area to 69.70 again before continuing down. But that's what I'm looking at. And I do have targets much, much lower, all the way down to, 38.4. And guys, if we see a Great Depression style crash, which I believe is a very good possibility, I still stick with my targets of the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market being 35 to 9,700. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you missed this big rally up. Well, that's of no concern to me, right? Most of these people that are showing profits on paper for their Bitcoin, right? When this comes down, they won't sell. They're not going to sell in profit. They will sell at a loss or hold for a very long time for this to get back up to here if we have the Great Depression style crash. All right. Before we begin, if you guys are interested in trading, where you can trade the Dow Jones, S&P, everything, all from one exchange, and you can use your Bitcoin to trade that, definitely check out Prime XBT. I have a link down below. It'll bring you to this page. You can get up to a $7,000 bonus, 25% off your trading fees by using my link down below. And if you have an account signed up, you don't even have to deposit money in it. I do post promo codes on my Twitter. Make sure you follow me on the Twitter or X, and you'll see me put them promo codes up. They're only good for one person, so when I put them up, you have to be the first to put it in, but it will put $200 in your account. You cannot take that 200 out, but you can trade that and keep all the profits. So, all right, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. I showed you guys this chart earlier this week. I've been showing you this chart for a very long time, but so a 100-year cycle. I believe in market cycles. If we are in a 100-year cycle, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Here's the Great Depression on the right. You can see this drop. Nobody thought this drop was coming. Everybody that bought in these areas right here believed they were geniuses. They were going to stay rich, right? But the real smart people started dumping here. And then you probably had, you know, this rally here, which over here I think will be caused by the rates getting lowered, right? And then you'll get a spike up. Everybody will think everything's okay, and then it continues down. I believe this is going to be severe because it's not only like 2008 was a housing market crash, right? 2000 was the dot-com bubble crash, right? They had single things that were in bubbles. We are in an everything bubble right now. When this thing bursts, it's going to be ugly. But the cool thing is, it is huge opportunity for those of us that are sitting here waiting to pounce, right? If you could have, look back here. So, right, everybody thinks now, because we had this March in 2020, we had our dump, and it was just a huge V-shaped recovery, right? But when a market really crashes, when multiple bubbles crash, right? This is more what happens. It took 40 years to get back to the old high. That might sound like a bad thing to you, but honestly, in all reality, that's a great thing because anyone that bought at these lower levels was good to go for many, many years after, right? Until, you know, even today. But how far could that actually crash? Well, if we have a 95% correction like we did over here, that could get you as low as like a $4,000 to $6,000 Dow Jones. Not saying it has to go that low. That sounds crazy, but it is definitely a possibility. And let me show you why. 100-year cycle. So let's take all the lows and the highs over here, right? And multiply them by 100. So we had our 111.50 right here, right? Now, do you see what I'm getting at? Do you see the market pattern, right? You had a high here, right? 11.9, pretty damn close, right? If you times this by 100 over here. Well, let's look over here. 68,000. 66,000 was this low. Times that by 100, pretty damn close. Then we had 121, right? This one was 14, not quite as high, but nevertheless, it made a higher high than the 111, right? And then you go down here, 6,400 was the second low, the lower low. $64 was the lower here. And then we had our 385 to 390 top over here on the Dow Jones. And as you can see, we hit 40 here. Again, just like these numbers weren't exact. And that's not to say you can't get one more huge FOMO spike up and break this high before coming down, but either way, this stuff is coming very close in my opinion. I just want to warn people out there. I want you to look at this stuff, and I'm giving you my reasons, right? I believe this 100-year cycle is coming to an end, and it does not have to be exactly 100 years, right? It has to be within that realm. Now, let's look at the Amazon.com bubble compared to what I believe is the crypto bubble over here. This is Bitcoin on the right, Amazon on the left. As you can see, we made our three highs. You made a high, a higher high, and then just barely made a higher high here, just like what we're doing right now in our third top. If this plays out, of course, nothing is guaranteed, but if this plays out, it could be multi-year bear market going much lower than most people expect. Like I said, I look for 35 to 9,700 as a good possibility if this does play out. So I just want to put a warning out there for all you that think you're geniuses and you bought and you're in a, in this rally, you're up on profits. If you're not taking profits, unrealized profits are not profits. They're not profits until they're realized and you actually sell, right? So just be careful. Something to think about. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, as you guys know, gold comes down when the market comes down. Does it come down quite as far as the markets? Not usually. But if this does play out, you could be seeing as low as a $900 to $1,000 gold. Silver. Silver prices I can see go as low as $6 to $10 if this bottom trend line here is broken. We've had these charts up for a very long time. Now, if we get one more rally, we could come up, retest this trend line again around $39. But I don't think it'll get up to these highs over here where it hit almost $50. That was absolutely insane. So let's see what happens here. And let's take a look at the bullish case for you bulls out there just real quick. So if we are in the Wyckoff distribution schematic number 1, it shows a possibility of 2 more highs, but still not going above the 80 to 82,000, right? And that would be sometime towards the middle or end of next year if this was to play out. But if we break this 56.5 area, it's a wrap, guys. I believe this is all started and it will be coming down in a hard way. And here, let me show you the schematics real quick. Right here, this is the schematic number 1 that I have drawn out here as a possibility, what it would look like. But I do believe even if we're still bullish here and we do see these highs, it's not going to get that much higher when it's all said and done, right? But the lows are where the profits are going to be made, in my opinion. Here's another schematic that shows possible at just one more high here, and that would get you around that 76,000 range if it was to play out. But those are your bullish cases. Even the bullish case isn't that bullish because I do believe these markets are ready to come down and come down in a big way. Here is the monthly on Bitcoin, right? This is a pretty huge support here. We have at 60, let's say 66,000. If we open and close a monthly below that, I think it's a wrap. You can see the trend line I've drawn right here off of all the lows. Here's my targets, 35 to 9,700, right? This would be coming back down to retest this trend line. And as you can see here in the RSI, right? So if we make this a channel, let me clone this bottom line. We put it up here. As you can see, we made their alternate touches, right? We touch the top, the bottom, the top. We never hit the bottom here yet, so I still believe we come down, hit this bottom before continuing up in the macro. Now in the micro, lots of trading to do, right? But what I'm trying to show you is what I believe is pretty much inevitable, and it's a big market crash that nobody's going to believe is going to keep going lower. People will say, I wish, for Bitcoin, for example, people are going to say they wish they sold at 70. And then they're going to be saying, I wish they sold at 60, and then 50, and then 40, and then 30. They did not collect profits all the way down, just like over here, right? Did it come back? Yes. But I think, like I've showed in this right here, I believe the big crash is coming. So, again, be careful. Make sure you share the video. Smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen 100% in the markets, but this is a view that I think everybody should take and at least look at this and be ready and make a plan before you lose a whole lot more money than you can afford to lose. So be careful out there, guys. Don't forget, if you are trading, make sure to use risk management. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose, and use your stop losses. Have a great day. I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.